Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being out here today. Young people, thank you for being out here today, and thank you for bringing your older people with you. We really, really appreciate it, but it's a reminder of what this is really all about. Rosa, thank you and your colleagues for your incredible leadership. And when I heard Amber speaking just a minute ago, I could have, it was exactly like the conversations that I've had over the last years in Colorado with moms that are struggling in an economy that's not working well enough for their families. And, you know, Tammy said earlier that poverty is a policy choice. I could not agree with that more. Let me tell you what the evidence for that is. You are standing today in the richest country in the world, and we have the third highest poverty rate in the industrialized world. That's a choice that we've made. We have the worst income inequality that we have had in this country in a century right now in the United States of America. And that's the result of an economy that for 50 years, since Ronald Reagan was our president, has benefited the top 10% of Americans when it's grown and not anybody else. And the response of this place largely has been to practice something called trickle-down or supply-side economics. And what we're here today to say is we can do something better than that. We passed something very important when we passed the American Rescue Plan, this enhanced child tax credit. And you know what? It actually did what we said it was going to do. Do you know how rare that is for that building? For the stuff people promise and say it's going to do this and say it's going to do that. In this case, we said it'll cut childhood poverty almost in half. It cut childhood poverty almost in half. We cut hunger by 25%. They told us the IRS wouldn't be able to make these monthly payments to families, and you know what? They did just fine. And families were able to spend that money to support their kids. I don't have time, and you got to hear from Cory Booker, and I know you don't want to hear from me. I don't have time to tell you the millions of stories I've heard from families in Colorado about what they spent the money on. From paying the light bill, to paying the rent, to buying school clothes for their kids without breaking the bank. But let me summarize for you what I heard from the families that I work for in Colorado, and that is the stress that was relieved from them. Just a little bit of stress in an economy that hasn't worked well enough for them, the chance to pay a few extra bills without worrying about paying for the food bill the next month. And that's what this is all about in the richest country in the world. It is shameful that we let it lapse. We should have made it permanent, but we have the chance now to do that again. And what you're hearing from the members of Congress that are here today, and what you're hearing from these advocates and from the kids that are here today, is that we've all been around here. Well, not you guys, but a lot. These guys, if they were watching C-SPAN, they've been around here. To see this place burn the midnight oil, stay up till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure that they extended tax cuts for the wealthiest people in America, to make sure that they extended tax cuts for the largest corporations in America. And what we're saying this time is, before we go home, we should pass the biggest tax cut for working people in American history. That's what we need to do.